Okay, seems to have must have lost track of it. The way I'm holding this at the muddy part of the trail, and or not so muddy. Kind of annoys me when you could see rubbish like that. But okay, it's worst thing about kind of keeping an eye on the trail, and I don't really keep an eye on the camera when I'm walking. But be about a third round. Just got a quarter mile here. And I always find it, technically I could go down further down into the valley, but nah, it's, to be honest, if you do, it's a bit of a pain having to double back, and okay, I'm doubling back anyway, but it's a better walk. I suppose even a straighter walk, but not that it really bothers me. Okay, we've lost. I'll probably obviously have to do put on two videos. One will be about 5-10 minutes. The other one will be a bit longer. Part of me is intrigued. I mean, I've been getting I've been getting quite a few views, but so I'm kind of intrigued to know where everybody's from. Obviously, here I am just outside Edinburgh. If you can tell by the geography, you could definitely tell by my accent. To prove it, I heard one of the most dominant prominent landmarks in Edinburgh, all 750 feet of it. And I suppose Hill End, just over there, which, double the size. Hill End and, Kirketton about just over 1500, and Alamere about 1600. Kirketton would be an interesting hill to do barefoot. I'm not saying it's not doable, but it is quite stony. The Pentlands in general are pretty stony. East and West Kip definitely, depending on your approach. Ironically, the highest peak is the one that's most doable barefoot, and I keep talking about doing it. The reality is, it's a pain, because I don't drive, then it's a bit of a pain in the arse to get there. Here we go. And as usual, bloody wasps and flies everywhere. If in doubt, step over it. I'm also amazed that they were able to get horses in such a narrow path. Obviously, they were. I suppose it's obvious they would have trampled on the hay, but it still would have been uncomfortable for the horse and the rider, I would have thought. Anyway, it remains very, very clammy. Although there is a bit more, you can't really hear it, but there's wasps, flies or something. It's it's clammy, but there was a bit of a wind earlier on. Okay, the path has been, you can see there's been a little bit of rain, but not enough. Sort of rain I'm wanting is the sort of rain that you can get, you know, the sort of, you know, the rain that goes on for like about 36 hours non-stop, rather than a little bit of drizzle. Although I do believe we're meant to be getting a wee bit of rain in the next couple of days, but believe it when I see it. Then you look on Google, and I find it quite funny how you've got the Daily Mail, Daily Express, probably one of the worst tabloids in the history of tabloids. It makes the sun look like Dostoevsky. Excuse me. And they're always saying that we're due endless sun or endless sun one day, then endless rain the next. Tabloids for you, I guess. Personally, looking at all that, there's no rain anywhere. The sky's low, but it's broken, and okay, it's maybe about what, 4,000 feet. Not particularly high, but 4,000 feet. But it's broken. There's not a whole lot of rain up there, if any. I remember back in the summer of 2008, where it was just there was a period in June, and June's normally this funny month. And we had rain practically for about 24 hours. In fact, more than that. Could have been about 36, literally non-stop, no breaks whatsoever. And there was flooding in June. But, I mean, I just accepted it as being rain. It's just weather. It's just June. At the same time, we had, like I said earlier in other videos, how the weather's been kind of funny, because even the kids were making snowmen at Easter. Just thought it was incredible. It was cool, but still pretty cool to see them out with their sledges in April. A month later it was boiling, and I did my first walk around here. Rather impulsively, I hasten to add, but went live on Twitter, got 6,500 likes, or 6,500 views. Then they found out it was that I was male, and the views went down considerably. But so be it. I think the fun of this is just taking it, seeing where it goes. At the end of the day, I think the interesting one is going to be when I'm walking around here in October and it's slippery and damp and cold, and I'll be in shorts and fleece, or shorts and waterproof. The baseball cap will remain. I think it's just standard walking equipment for myself, and always kind of has been. Unless I'm in the Munros, in which case it's a beanie or something like that, something a lot warmer. Partly because it's about the only thing that will cling to your head up there. Not telling me that once you get above 2,000 or 3,000 feet, that the wind will sooner or later get to you, or normally get to you. Looking across the Lammer Laws, it's or Lammermuirs. A lot of cloud, but just none of it coming this way. Or not much of it coming this way, or none of the big clouds coming this way. I suppose being Scottish, we're always obsessed about the weather. It just seems to be a national preoccupation. Everybody bitches and moans about it, but at the end of the day, weather's just weather. I was at a gig a few years ago where I wasn't even a big fan of the band that was playing, but the lead singer just said the one thing that I like, it was peanut down the rain. And I was wearing this poncho on top of my waterproof because we'd been out for so long, so inevitably you get wet anyway. And the lead singer said, the one thing that I like about you Scots is that you don't let the weather get to you. To you it's just weather. I suppose it is, but it's also a national preoccupation. I like to moan. Everyone likes to moan. It's cathartic. It's a big catharsis, a big thing about life. Everybody moans and you just get on with it. It's life. I know how often I do this. I always love looking over to those hills. It's been a few years since I've really done them, which is a real shame. I should really get back out there. We're back up there. Plenty of time. Barefoot or in shoes, I've always. They're great hills. It's a good walk. You get a lot of good days. Had a few good days, and had quite a few good days out there, up there. You get to 1600 feet, you go down about 4 or 5 up and down, and you kind of roller coaster up and down. I'm not saying it's easy, but I think the trick is with all hill walking, it's not so much getting to the destination, it's how the hell you're going to get back. Was it last year when I did Ben Nevis for the second time? We got, this was in June, so it shows you, and it was just pretty much constantly getting rained on all the time. And the person that I was with had never done a Munro before. And I'm carrying all the equipment, and we're getting soaked all the time. The wind's better. You were getting hit by about 20-30 mile an hour winds all the time. It's one of the grimmest slogs that I've ever had. And because they're slower than it took us, we were on the hill for over 11 hours. We made it, but I don't know how. I don't know how she made it. But yeah, I'd done it back in 2010, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it was dry. It was overcast, but it was dry, and it made all the difference. Made a lot of difference, in fact. But yeah, the worst thing about Ben Nevis is that there's always hundreds of people on it, if not thousands. And because this was in June, you had people running about doing the 3-peak challenge, and you had the old fail runner. Fair play to anyone who can do it, but I'm definitely not that fit. I'm nowhere near that fit, in fact. To me, even if I was fit, there's no way that would be fail running. It always looked a bit too dangerous to me. As it was, I mean, because everybody was so tightly packed in, and if you've ever done Ben Nevis, then you've got the boulders. Got about 2,000 feet of boulders, and I'm not saying it's dangerous, it's just awkward. So you have to take your time. I mean, I did take my time. I was going probably far too slow, going down especially given the rain that we'd had, so they were slippery. And there's somebody that didn't create a domino effect, I don't know. But, yep, still in one piece. Okay, I slipped, did do my knee in, but what are you going to do at 2,000 feet? In fact, that must have been about 3.5. But what are you going to do if you follow it in a hill like that? If you can move, you move. Got two choices: stay still and call Mountain Rescue, or you just get on with it. I'll go on with it. Cursed, got me back on. Cursed, shook myself down and got back on. That's what you do when you're on a hill. And if something's broken, you get on with it. You deal with the injury later. You deal with the bruising later. I can feel the wind getting up a little bit. Not quite the opening scene of Witness, but it's just quite nice just to have that cool wind. Again, just cricket and I guess I do this a few times every walk. And again, further deeper into Midlothian. East Lothian would be a great place to go walking, and especially by the back end of the John Muir Trail there. Also, the John Muir Trail goes through Edinburgh. Pretty much covers the whole country. I did do Helensburgh to Balloch. Helensburgh's a beautiful little town. Balloch, I don't really remember that much about, but again, pure just, you know how you get that drizzly rain where it kind of gets right inside you, and I mean within seconds you're soaked. And yeah, we got soaked that day. And what added to that, I think you had guys working on the trail that day. So I think out of the 5 of us, two of the group that fell. One got lost despite having the map. And somehow I made it out okay. I don't know how that happened. I must be losing my touch. But it's still nice to say that I've done it. Well, I did that, but Helensburgh was actually a beautiful little town. Very middle class. So inevitably, as it's one of the most westerly walks I've ever done, about 5 of us were drinking Buckfast in this car park, and basically this car park that was just next to the river, really, close to the start, pretty much at the start point. The guys that, when we used to do that sort of walking, we always used to have something at the start of be it cheap Aldi cherry liqueur, or a bottle of God knows what, some god awful Irish cream that's took the edge off it. I think what started is we were doing a 20-mile walk. We must have been 2013. We were doing, a bunch of us were doing. Excellent, good. There's a wee bit of mud. A bunch of us were doing Burnt Island to Lower Largo in Fife, which was over 20, must have been about 20 miles. I think we worked out about 22 miles or something like that. And the day before it, I was over in Fife anyway, but the day before it, I stocked up at Poundland and got all these cheap shots. So about 10 to 8 in the morning, we had a couple of these. And we took the edge off it. First part of that trail's quite dry and boring. It's a roadside walk to Kinghorn. Then you cut through Kinghorn. Then you're on this kind of gritty path to Kirkcaldy. Then I suppose after Kirkcaldy's quite. It's not that it's big, it's just that it's long, because it's used to be a port town. Dare say it's changed slightly because it'll have changed now, because I know that on the western side of it towards Kinghorn there's now a Morrison's, so God knows I don't know how the trail's developed as a result of that. But never been over there since. Never been over there since we did the final part of it. But yeah, after that you've got Kirkcaldy. Then after that I kind of get lost between all of them, because there's eventually you walk through Kirkcaldy up by the old flour mill, and so on, through Beveridge Park. It's a bit slippy. I suppose after that you've got the small villages like Dysart and so on, east and west streams. Dysert's beautiful, but then most of the towns and villages around the bay are, apart from Buckhaven and Methil, and maybe Leaving's not too bad. Buckhaven and Methil are, I guess, when we did it, it was a Saturday afternoon, but East Fife played at the bottom of by Bayside, and they were playing Berwick Rangers in the first or second division playoffs. Probably second going into the first division playoffs that day. But we got there right in the middle of it, and there was literally nothing there. It was like all of us were making jokes about Deliverance and how we were expecting Tumbleweed to be kicking about, or making jokes about dueling banjos because no door was open. There was a short debate to see who would be in the BE and so on, and you can imagine. But yeah, Methil and Buckhaven and Methil were like that. On the western side of it, there's a mural right on the FCP that had been graffitied. But it said, "Welcome to Buckhaven," and rarely has a welcome felt so ambiguous. It's kind of like the welcome in a horror movie. It's not really that the place is bad, it's just a small town that's lost its purpose. I think that's the best way to compare it. I suspect the Methil docks would be the big, which seemed to be massive, and it seemed like there was a lot of people doing a lot of digging, but not actually didn't seem to be achieving much. I don't know if that makes sense, but there seemed to be a digger that seemed to be moving one pile of dirt from one pile to another and then back again, sort of thing. Or that's the impression I got. People being, you know, I'm sure there must have been some purpose, but I'll be damned if I could work it out. See if we can do it again. Not bad. I suppose after that then it was kind of the home stretch, although that day I must have been really up for it because I was really tanking it. Did the walk, including a break, including quite a few breaks, in about 8 hours, so I reckon the average pace must have been about 3 miles an hour, which for a trail's not bad. 22 miles in 8 hours, so not bad, but give or take breaks. So I'm really bad on trails, but I'm really bad for not taking breaks. I don't like the lactic acid getting built up. Again, best part of the walk. Most childish part of the walk. It's also quite lovely just to, it's probably this bit that gets my feet dirty. Onto the grass to dust off, but to be honest, I'm sure that I must have, no matter how well I wash my feet, I'm sure basically a lot of the ground and dirt must stay there, but it's not doing me any harm. I shower regularly. I mean, I shower twice a day, so always shower at the end of this, make sure shower before and so on, so it's not about cleanliness. Certainly not through lack of it. And you can just see another bus which must be due to head off actually. Okay, looking at the time it's taken me, the camera must have switched off quite early on when I first started this, so I was talking to myself basically. Not that I'm not anyway, but Yeah. Okay, getting to the end. Normally it takes me about 40 to 40 minutes, so okay, obviously just coming towards the end. And big thanks to anybody viewing these. Okay, last 15 seconds.